See the 4-year-old, the case is still going. It's still progressing. With regard to the 4-year-old, the culprit has been ascertained, he's been apprehended, and in my last press briefing, I had mentioned that the child died out of drowning, and it would take us some time to ascertain whether the child died out, whether the drowning was accidental or homicidal. SIT, which has been formed, has established that the drowning was homicidal. So she was drowned deliberately by the accused, who's juvenile in conflict with law. He's still in the juvenile home. Only thing is, the SIT is still yet to ascertain whether the drowning, the homicide, or the act was done in perpetuation of argument which happened over biscuits, which he has said, or whether it was an sexual assault attempt. There are many indications to the latter, which we need to establish. So SIT will take some time to establish whether there was any sexual attempt. But one thing I can say, that the drowning was homicidal in nature.
There's a lot of confusion surrounding this case because there is speculation that there could be a person
No, the SIT has ruled out there's only one person who is 13-year-old, and he's the only one who perpetrated this.
So how many people did it?
See, there's no time frame, but from the time we arrest an accused, then we have an 90-day time frame for charge sheeting.
And regarding the murder case at Nongrah, 7-year-old boy, so there were indications that the boy had injury marks and stuff.
See, there are injuries and all that. Some could be antemortem, some could be postmortem injuries and all that. Usually, if the body is exposed for a long time, then you can have postmortem injuries, or means after death injuries from the various elements of nature. So we are waiting for the postmortem report to actually ascertain what type of injuries were antemortem, maybe if there are postmortem injuries also. So from the postmortem report, we will get a clearer picture of how he died.
So any suspect?
See, as of now, the spectrum of suspects is wide. As SIT progresses and all that, we will be able to narrow further. Since it is a child out here, and where motive to kill a child is very difficult to establish. It either could be for ransom, which has not come about. It could be for sexual assault, for which the inquest has not indicated of any sexual assault, or we'll confirm that from the postmortem. And if there's none of these motives, then we have to look for other motives. So it's very important to first establish what is the motive for killing the 7-year-old child.
So as a law enforcement officer, how would you debunk these rumors and speculations revolving around the mentioned?
See, we have seen so many cases, at least for about 2 decades, we have seen most of these mentioners actually are not true. Actually, they all because with enmity or jealousy and mentioners, this apprehension has always been there since it's in the folklore of the community. Uh, uh, Usually, when we get to the truth, or we get to the people who are involved in it, it's not because of that they want to drain out blood from a victim. It's usually vendetta, usually for ransom, which is usually for some reason. But I have never come across a case, at least in my service career, that person being drained out of blood because he's a missionary. I rule out. In fact, we've had so many cases of Subha Menshana between the villages and all that. And when we actually investigated root causes different problems.
Uh, Regarding the opening case, that yesterday was on that we asked Team on the morning. Is the boy still happy? Is he a boy or is he still a minor?
No, no, he's reached the age of majority. He is having a relationship with the girl. They've been having a relationship for more than 2 weeks. They've been in touch with each other. And yesterday at about 6:45, 6 side and all that, she had left home on her own and met with the boy. And uh, the girl was in the boy's house. Uh, so here we've registered a case. A missing report was actually initially filed, and after we found the boy and we found he's in the age of majority, while she's a minor. So we have taken a case of abduction and wrongful confinement. Right now he's being produced in court, and the girl has been medically examined and she's been handed over to her family.
What is the severity of the punishment in case of the
See, we have to first prove that in abduction and all that it's below 7 years, below 7 years, 3 years to 7 years, and all that. Depending on the degree of abduction, if it's just abduction for if it's for ransom, then it's more.
And so we see a lot of these cases coming about, like the Umpling and the Maulai case. So, because in these cases we see that both these girls had actually gone out on their own initiative. So how would you, as as an officer, want to send a message to the parents?
I think it's very important that now parents talk to their children and come closer and understanding what they are actually browsing over their social media accounts and all that, who they are contacting, who they are meeting. Because sometimes children feel they know better than their parents. Yes, parents may not know how to use that social media account and all that, but parents have the wisdom of the trees. They will know how to guide them. It's only one thing, one element which is very important is that parents, both father and mother, should get close to their children. Then you'll get to know your children well. They'll be able to confide in you, be with social media, be with friends, be with strangers. So that kind of bonding has to be there, has to be built. What happens if there's no bonding? Then the child depends on those role models or those friends or those the people which they meet in social media for any form of advice and counsel, which is very dangerous. So that bonding between parent and child needs to be established, needs to be strengthened, so that child can confide in parent and parent can guide child.
Let's look at the safety aspect. Because of due to the recent cases in Nongrah, how has the initiatives or maybe plans by the police department to ensure that every locality has some kind of intensity or maybe CCTV in different junctions? How are you working to
She, Hasi's police has always emphasized on safety. Safety is a priority for us. And for that, we need to have certain things put in place. Number one is coordination and coordination and cooperation with local stakeholders, the Datwa, the Sibsandars, and Longknows. That coordination through the community liaison group. That coordination is very important. That is already there in place. Also, the kind of infrastructure we have for safety, street lighting, the illumination around the places. If the place is dark, then criminals also are more. They feel it's more emboldened to actually commit any crime. If we have CCTVs, we've been doing that. We've been taking up this thing that every guest house, every uh, office establishment, any business house, any hotel, that should have CCTVs, at least one CCTV facing the road. That's very, very important. So we're emphasizing on all these safeguards. We're emphasizing also on on patrolling both with the VDPs and VDP and the police. We are trying to encourage more VDPs in the city. We have very few VDPs in the city because the numbers, there's a condition that you have to have 25 and above. We bring that number down, so we're encouraging more VDPs and to work in tandem with the police. Because police, you can't police every place. So the VDPs are there; they are first responders. In case there's an LO problem, also in case there's a mob frenzy, there's a mob outburst also, the VDP is always there to not only look after the victim, but also sometimes you have to protect the accused also. Okay, because we cannot allow the crowd or the mob to take the law into their own hands. So this coordination and this working in tandem with the VDP and also with the community stakeholders like the Parental is very, very important. Apart from that, infrastructure is a lot of assets in place. We've seen the smart city, and it's really helped the police. Uh, so many cases have been covered with smart city and all that, and it's really helped. We just want now, but crime is not committed in very centrally located places. Crime is mostly committed in these places which are in the corner, which is dark alley and all that. So we need more CCTVs. I encourage, urge people in their residence to at least when you put CCTVs, not only to put CCTV inside your house or in the compound, but at least place one CCTV from your gate towards the road, because the perpetrator of any crime will always come from outside. He's not from inside. Yes, it's good to have inside, but you have to have one at least outside. So now we made it conditional for all guest houses, for hotels and all that to have CCTV at least one facing the road. So that is very, very important. It has helped us solve many cases. It has also made it difficult, like you've seen in the Nongrah case also. Sorry, in the Nongrah, yeah, the first case where the 4-year-old child was killed. There was a CCTV, but it was not working. And there are also cases where there are CCTVs, but not facing towards the road. And also there are also cases where you don't have CCTVs at all, so it becomes a big disadvantage for the police. And if you have these things in place, it's a deterrent for criminals. It also helps crime detection.
Would you say like today's joint operation by the police and the version of the what the police actually looking for?
See, in fact, this over the years has been a very good thing, since our response mechanisms also is one as such whereby we had looked at CCTVs and all that. The BSF was very helpful in providing their CCTV. The CLG where we work with the Rambashanang, and I was personally in touch with Bapundro, the Rambashanang of and all that. And they were able to provide us the ground information and all that information of the family, and that, for which we could actually know exactly what is the position of this case and how to respond and to act. So accordingly, different stakeholders had, different response teams had come, be it technology, be it patrolling, be it combing, be it NACA. Everything was actually put in place in a few minutes only. This whole response mechanism had actually.
Habang ipay ini ka cuma but the G1 go to before and technology instead of the pieces inject you should have an idea when the thing is that no good so
Kabu i kabu chinga hi ibet ni khaba ni don ka case ni ndai kan awan pa jing jwa tare ni hable hi wa ida jisha hi ye babul sin hi bul sin hi pa hi bun hi bo nget ki khana ai ba tan te ki je mas ni wan ni kan ko yom ni tan ka ki khana ye ndai kari ka kamam chuni hi complaints will come tuma kari kamam chuni hi barwa jisha ya kata hi kata kawai ru ngalaban ha kata ka ba kibrio kimte ban hai kilu kini ki khana ne ki juar ki bamde ki long lam ler dre kan ka to ka ki ya kani ku dan kam ko ko ba kim na mun shu ai ki dre ka pen kumar ya bara ka pen kumar kan lang sa lang ka pen kumar ki nam kamshna ka pen kumar let ki ka ban concentrate kun kini ki case ki ba din sha ba sha Sharpening up Shara Boshisha to Pakishu Raven of Energy Juni from Shilpikias. Maham Kowe, but Kawaatu ki pana na nakiye ki monitor IT kindan kata genius lock genius jan what is happening in the life.
So,
Don't play. And then the lock to ocean don't lock it. Yeah.